Hello and welcome to Connected, episode 384. It's made possible this week by our sponsors, Bombas, Fitbod, and New Relic. My name is Stephen Hackett. I am joined by Mr. Federico Viticci.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. We're back. And we're back with our friend Mike Hurley.
Hi.
How is everybody?
I'm exhausted. I feel super weird. I apologize already.
Why are you exhausted? Tell us more about it.
Recorded a really, really long thing before. So today, as we're recording this, we did two things for the Pen Addict. It is our 500th episode, and also today is our 10th anniversary of working together on the show too. They just ended up incredibly just lining up. We didn't do anything special for it. They just lined up. We recorded a 3-hour episode, which was like a very listener-intensive feedback show. Like, people wrote in a bunch of stuff to us, and we promised we'd read every message. I finished recording that show like 20 minutes before we started recording. So I'm a little bit all over the place at the moment.
Congrats, though. I mean, that's an incredible milestone, and I can't believe you haven't blogged about this. Like, I can see the headline already on like a Medium blog or something. Like, I recorded 500 episodes for a podcast about pens. Here's everything I learned.
Here's everything
like
I learned.
Super clickbaity, you know?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what I've learned yet, though. I have to think about that.
Nothing. It's just a blank post.
Well, congratulations. I remember it. I refuse. It's not that I can't. I refuse to believe that it's been 10 years. I don't understand how that's possible at all.
Well, we started the show in 2012.
I mean, I understand how math works, but like, holy crap. Like, it's a decade? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so here on the non-Pen show, we're on episode 384. It would be episode 441 if you count the prompt. That gives you some context of how long you've been doing the Pen Addict. It's over a year.
Yep. More
episodes than we've been doing this show. But for now, 384 episodes, we start with follow-up. 2 things about the Jeremys, the game that we played last week. I cannot believe we forgot, and this is on me because I actually have it further down in the show notes where like my Jeremys template is, and I just missed it. We didn't tell people about the website. So you can go to the Jeremys.herokuapp.com. Link is in the show notes. And there is put together here all of the picks for the Jeremys over the last many years. You can see all the guesses Federico made and if he eventually got it right or eventually got it wrong. It's amazing, and you should go check it out.
The good thing about this page specifically, and why it's worth looking at it sometime afterwards, which I always enjoy doing, is that Jason lists every guess Federico makes, not just the one that was correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the best part about this, which is always fun to look back on. Beans has been in my head a lot. I've been in my head a lot recently, so
Beans. Michael sent in the PDF for the proposal for biting lip emoji.
Okay.
And I just want to read some of this.
Please.
This is from the introduction. Humans have a long experience with nonverbal communication. Before we had words, we needed to try to rely on groaning and gesturing. These old habits stuck.
Wait, what? Okay.
These old
this
habits
is an interesting energy.
And it's hardwired in our brain that we even we even gesticulate while speaking on the phone or while on a podcast, while obviously the other person can't see us. And then they go on to biting and chewing the lip can indicate a range of emotions, including fear, anxiety, and discomfort in a situation. Or perhaps the person is worried or insecure. But also, lip biting can be iconic of flirtation and exercising restraint.
Okay.
So, and it goes on with Google search results, multiple usages. This person who put this together really puts flirtation and fear and anxiety sort of on the same level throughout this document. So, you know, maybe they've been burned in the area of love and it comes coming out in their PDF, but here you go.
Yeah, there's tons of examples for pain, anticipation, excitement, arousal, which is another category.
Okay, so my least favorite thing about this, I have two least favorite things. Least favorite thing number one is in the introduction thing, they've put in a bunch of imagery as like examples, and there's 3 stock images, and then there's an image of Harry and Meghan on their wedding day, and it's just like I'm not really sure why.
He's biting his lip.
Yeah, but why this image and then 3 random stock images? You know, like I don't understand.
Because the first one gives,
like popular context, but I feel like there are probably a million movie scenes that you could pick from. Also, the zwidge that they suggested was a mouth plus a tooth, and I don't like that as a thing. And also, just this, I still cannot believe this emoji. I just can't believe this emoji is a thing.
It's the best one.
There's a lot of other emoji in this document.
Biting lip is expected to have high usage.
Right.
When it comes to Google, biting lip greatly outperforms the median smiley emoji drooling face.
This is a very formal proposal.
Yeah. I mean, you're submitting it to like a consortium committee type thing, right? You've got to try and make it, even though like, look, this is what's kind of funny to me really about this proposal is like the people that made this proposal, what they're looking for is it's a sexting emoji, right?
It's justification.
But they have to present it in such a like an official way, and that's
exactly.
That duality is very entertaining for me.
Exactly. It's so professional but done in a way to justify the thirst behind this emoji, which makes it so perfect.
It's like from the dawn of time, human beings have communicated. It's like, all right, okay.
Don't you know that biting a lip? It's like, hey, look, I get it.
Also, I enjoy, right, like the way they've stacked this. Lip biting can be a trademark of insecure shy types, but also lip biting can be iconic of flirtation or exercising restraint. No, not also. Not also. No, it's like, oh, I'm so nervous right now. Lip bite emoji. Like, no one's going to do that.
Under the section labeled Breaking New Ground, the authors write, other than smirking face, aka sexual face, smug face, and suggestive smile, there aren't any other emojis effective at communicating the tension that comes with flirtation. Water droplet guy, peach, heart eyes, eggplant, but none that convey the emotional complexity that comes with relationships.
Oh, right. But the biting lip does.
The biting lip really speaks to emotional complexity. Anyway, that's enough of that.
I can, well,
you took that further than I was expecting, Stephen.
Just the whole document is just.
I'm a sophisticated person. I don't send the peach emoji. I send the biting lip one. So
I'm gonna read the next piece of follow up because I feel like I put this out into the world, so I should just continue putting it out.
No, please don't. No.
It doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel fair for other people to have to read it. No, there is no clearing up. I was right the first time, and this is just more information from Ruffy. Indeed, the pupil of the eye is a hole.
No.
Which lets light in, and the image is then projected on the back of the eye, just like in a camera. Also, like a camera, the pupil gets smaller when there's more light, so like smaller or larger, The pupil is black because it's dark inside the eyeball, because it's a hole and you're looking inside the eye.
Shut up. No.
This is also why you get red eyes when taking picture with a flash right in front of the eyes. The flash simply lights the inside of your eyeball, showing the red color inside our head. This comes from Rafi, who I can only assume is a very well-known ophthalmologist.
No, I don't care. Why send this piece of follow-up?
Kate asked a great question. Kate asked a really great question. Why are we doing this again? The reason is Stephen put this in a document, and I just decided to read it. Holes. Just holes.
Holes in the eyes.
Moving on. Let's talk about feet.
If you think about it, the pupils are just like the nostrils of the eyes.
Enough about holes. Feet, right? Much better.
From lip biting. Right? Let's go to feet now.
We're doing the we're doing the whole anatomy thing today.
That's the theme of today's episode. Is we're covering the entire anatomy.
The gang discovers the human body. This is what we're doing today.
Friend of the show, Matt Van Ormer.
Let's talk about Matt's feet. Okay,
AKA the foot mod. has bought and reviewed the Steam Deck pedal. Ultimately, this kind of nothing surprising from this. Like it is what we thought it was. Matt did note that it was very well made. Like the hardware was very well made, and in use was really enjoyed that. It's got 3 buttons on it, kind of right, 3 pedals. 2 on each side are raised higher than the one in the middle, which you can kind of see from the imagery. But this helps you. No, or is the one in the middle raised? There's a difference in height between the 2 on either side and the one in the middle, and this helps you kind of feel with your feet which button you're pressing. So it's very useful in use. Did either of you buy one of these, by the way?
No, but there's a section of this post called All-Toe Automation.
It's sold out basically immediately. So a lot of people are into foot automation.
Automation.
Tonation.
Automation.
Automation. It's good,
Did
right?
he use it bare feet? Do we know?
I don't know. Matt is in the Discord. Matt, did you use it barefoot or with socks or with shoes? We would like to know. This is a very important follow-up. Do you like the pictures that Matt included with his dog in the...
I do. Very good. Especially good dog.
Mostly socked, but sometimes barefoot. So there you go.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah, one of the best dogs I've seen from the follow-up segment. We've seen a few over the years. It's an extremely good dog. Look at those eyes. Yeah. Look at the gracious pose. Yeah, a very good dog. Very good dog.
Do you think dogs have holes in their eyes?
Yeah.
Can you please? No. I'm quitting. How do you quit Zoom? How do you do that?
You
How
can't.
do you close a call?
You can never
Here.
quit Zoom.
Oh God. Okay. Should I consider the Steam Deck pedal? Should I?
You
Should I
already
get
have
one?
considered it. Like it's only a matter of time until you get it, quote unquote, for your work. So
It's why quote unquote.
You need it for
is my
shortcuts.
mm-hmm.
For Siri shortcuts.
work. No.
maybe
Please stop. Oh my God.
maybe you could program one of the pedals to quit Zoom. You know. So if I keep talking about things you don't like, bang, and then you're gone. Like ejected out of the podcast.
Yeah, I could look into that.
I added a role in Discord just for Matt named FootMod.
Accurate.
That's there for all time. Just as like a related plug, in I think 2 weeks from now, not the next episode, but the one after that on MPU, we're getting deep into the Stream Deck. So I burned down my whole Stream Deck setup, have rebuilt it. I wanted to check out the foot pedal, but it was sold out. So if you're Stream Deck curious, we have an MPU coming that I think you will like a lot.
I am actually, so I will look forward to that.
Well, I mean, you don't have one. You've never had one.
I do have one. I had one before you. I set it up again, and I've never used it. I set it up with it. I spent an afternoon setting it up, and I just don't ever press it. I never think to press the button. I think maybe I'm just not a Stream Deck person, but I will listen to that Mac Power Users episode and then make my final decision.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Bombas. With Bombas, everyone can be a foot mod because they make super
Stop that now.
comfortable
Stop that
clothes.
now. That is an unacceptable.
They make great stuff, socks, shirts, underwear. And what's really cool, for every item they sell, an equal item is donated. So you get comfortable socks and shirts and underwear, and you're helping someone in need. Everything they make is soft, seamless, tagless, has a luxuriously cozy feel. They're made from super soft materials like merino wool, Pima cotton, cashmere. They make perfect cozy winter layers. There's a pair of Bombas socks for everything you do. I'm wearing my podcasting socks right now. But you got a bunch of sports you play. Different types of sports have different needs. Bombas has socks for everyone. It's the only thing in my sock drawer anymore. I absolutely love them. Their t-shirts are also great. They're made with thoughtful design features like invisible seams, soft fabrics. The weight is just right. Bombas underwear has a barely there feel. They may make you forget you're even wearing them, but in a good way. The biting lip emoji way. See, I've tied it into 2 topics in the show. It's really good stuff. Go to bombas.com/connected. There you will get 20% off your first purchase. And once again, everything you buy, a like item, is donated. That's bombas.com/connected, BOMBAS, bombas.com/connected. Our thanks to Bombas for their support of the show and Relay FM.
So Apple has announced a new thing called Tap to Pay on iPhone. This is kind of like somebody reminded me on Twitter about this. You remember they did the Find My network before they announced AirTags?
Yeah.
I think it might be something similar here. They're announcing they're doing this thing, and then maybe they're going to announce something else, probably like NFC in an iPad or whatever, right? Maybe Apple's going to make some kind of accessory to put an iPad in, or whatever, so you can make like a point-of-sale terminal. Basically, what it's doing is unlocking the functionality inside of the NFC chips in iPhones so that an iPhone can be used like a contactless payment terminal. So instead of using one of those big things on a desk, or you've got like the little square reader or whatever, it's just bang straight on the iPhone, easy to go. Now, Federico, I see you have a bunch of questions in the document.
Yes, I do.
That I think I might be able to answer for you. So maybe it's a better way to talk about this. Why don't you ask these questions to me?
I am glad you are here to provide answers to my questions. My questions are developed on two separate fronts. There's the more the questions about this announcement, and then in a broader context of payments in America. But in the context of tap to pay on the iPhone, can you explain to me why this is a big deal?
Yeah.
According to a lot of people, because when I shop here in Italy, I have never, and this is not an exaggeration or anything, I have never seen the things that I've seen in America, like those iPads in coffee shops or something.
Sure.
Everybody here has a standard POS, point of sale terminal, that accepts contactless payments or the chip-based cards. Literally everyone has it.
See, the reason I think I can help you specifically is because the UK has a kind of a hybrid system where we are, like Europe, everywhere has contactless payments, and you can use anything. It's not like there are places in America where it's like, oh, you can do contactless, but you sometimes have to put your card in, and sometimes Apple Pay works. No, we're like the same as you. But something that I see here that I also see in America is small businesses with these more modern like systems that either look like an iPad or are an iPad, or they use these little things that plug into an iPad. And this tends to be relatively new or small businesses, or people that are setting up at say you have like a farmer's market kind of thing or whatever, right? Where it's like you can't have a checkout system because you're outside and there's nowhere to plug in or whatever. So you'll see a lot of the time.
Maybe I've just been to the wrong places then. I don't know.
Like it depends what's around you, what's local to you. I mean, my expectation probably is a lot of the businesses that you frequent have been around for a long time. You know what I mean? So like they're just more established. I don't know. Like I've been, there's a lot of places that I frequent in the UK that are kind of more like artsy places, and they're new and they're like trying to make it work, and they've only been in their business for like 3 weeks, and they've got like a little square reader kind of thing. So the benefit to what Apple's doing here is you don't have to use the hardware provided by the company, which I'm sure comes with some kind of fee. This would remove that. So you don't need to worry about that anymore. And also for a lot of people, especially in very constrained environments, or as I say, like a farmer's market or something, they don't need another piece of hardware. So like, for example, when I used to help Brad out at the pen shows, we would always need to use his phone because it was the only one that had the square reader in it. But if we could all just sign into an account, which would be his account, and just use, say, the Square app, and then it can just take the payment because it's on anyone's phone, that's going to be way better as a system for a lot of people. This isn't going to be the case for everybody. Like, I'm sure in a lot of coffee shops, they're still going to want like a dedicated terminal. There's a company that I see a lot now called Clover. I see those like in the UK. I've seen them in America as well, where they make like a really nice thing, and it's just a point of sale system, but it's modern looking. You know, it looks like those kind of iPad focused ones, but like it's an actual contained unit. People are still going to use that, but this would allow for small businesses, new businesses especially, to not have to get these like any point of sale hardware, whether cheap or expensive. They could just use their phone or their probably an iPad instead.
Okay, that's cool. I'm never gonna see this in Italy, but okay, that's
you might. You might, because honestly, there might be some companies that want a different experience, and this is going to be probably free to them to use if it comes outside of the US.
Right.
Which I reckon it will, because like one of the people they're working with, I think the only company they've announced they're working with so far is Stripe. And Stripe is very international. So considering Stripe will be the facilitator of the payments here, I don't see why they couldn't roll this out. This isn't like Apple Pay Cash, where Apple's working with a specific bank or whatever to make that work. I could imagine that this would roll out faster than, say, the peer-to-peer payment stuff would.
And my second question, not related to, what's it called? Tap to pay?
Tap to pay.
Not related to tap to pay, but more in the broader context of like all these apps and services that let you do person-to-person payments, usually in America. Like they seem to be a big deal for American users, like Cash App and Venmo, like everybody's using them. And I saw a video on Twitter a while back that was actually a TikTok video that friend of the show, Rob, found again for me today, so thank you, Rob. So it's basically a video of someone explaining why these services are so popular in America to do the peer-to-peer payments, and explaining the difference between the American bank system and the European bank system, where in Europe I can send money to someone basically for free in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But like this thing with like these services like Cash App and Venmo, that's just not a thing here.
Yeah, it's like we have it too. It's like imagine if your bank worked as easily as Venmo, because that's what it's like in Europe and in the UK as well. Like, and I'm sure in a lot of other places, like we don't have fees for these transfers, and they happen immediately cross banks. It's not even from the same bank. Yeah.
But this is not true in America. Hence why they are popular, these services.
Yeah, it's like filling a hole left open by our bad system, right? If we had what y'all have in Europe, this wouldn't be as exciting to us.
This could be a reason why maybe Apple's never really pushed on Apple Pay Cash, because there isn't really that much of a need for it. Whereas I say this one specifically could be used in other countries, because it's not really about a failure of the banking system as such. It's more that just like these days, small businesses would just prefer much more flexibility, and this would enable even more flexibility because there's always an iPhone in the middle of these Square transactions or whatever, and now you don't need to have that hardware that gets between the phone and the customer. So it's pretty cool. I'm pleased that they've done this. Like this is an interesting thing. I am just wondering, is there another shoe to drop here?
Exactly. Like it can't be iPhone only, right?
No, it definitely seems like this is something that future iPads will support. So you can like be that person, right? Where you have just like an iPad. I mean, my favorite coffee shop, like they use iPads with like the Square Reader, but I've even been other places, like if you go to, especially like a temporary store or like a festival or something, it's like iPad minis and those little credit card readers. It's like, man, all that could just go away. So I would bet good money, and maybe this will be a prediction in a future Ricky's episode, that future iPads will support whatever hardware is needed to make this work.
I think I saw on Six Colors. I think Dan wrote the article that like, and it's true. I had a vague memory of this, and I was pleased somebody found it. Like iPads have had NFC chips in them before; they've just not been turned on. But like, it just seems like it was like it was cheaper for them to put them in than not put them in, kind of thing. You know, sometimes you get like weird hardware in a device. It's like, why is this sensor here? Like, there's that weird sensor in the HomePod Mini, right? That doesn't do anything, right? It's like a temperature sensor or something. Am I losing my mind here? It seems like nobody's on board with me.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, anyway, someone knows what I'm talking about.
Anyway, payments, right?
I'm off in like my little fever dream over here. Have you not heard about the secret chips nobody knows about?
Sure, but it's fine.
They're hiding them in there, Federico. There's NFC everywhere, man.
It's fine. You go play over there with your chips. All right. So cool. So payments, huh? Money is it's important these days.
Makes the world go round, is what I say.
Yeah, that's why Apple is doing it.
Oh, Matt and the Foot Mod came up with the Bloomberg article about a humidity and temperature sensor from a HomePod Mini.
You believe it now. Bloomberg said it. You don't believe it when I said it. Mark Gurman says it. You're like, oh, it's so true. When Mike says it, it's like, you're
Well,
mad.
I mean, when has Bloomberg ever been in trouble for a story that may or may not have been super accurate?
Footnote, Bloomberg was responsible for the...
Yeah,
We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. No. Mm-mm. That's worse than the pupil. I'm sorry.
Look, everyone has a hole in their foot where the light comes in.
God, okay. Oh my God.
Oh,
Can
God.
we please keep talking about banks and payments?
Let's talk about betas.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
I can actually tie all this together if you want. iOS 15.4 Beta 2 includes the functionality for the tap to pay. So that's one thing. Okay. And second, just in general, I'm really excited about this Face ID with mask. I'm not running the betas. I'm just going to wait. But because I now when I have to use Apple Pay in the local coffee shop and I have to put my code in, right? I'm like, oh man, I can't wait until I don't have to do this anymore. Or like a couple of days ago.
You don't have to do it now. Just put the beta on.
I don't want to put the beta on my phone. And also, like, I was in IKEA yesterday and I couldn't remember the PIN number for a card. It's like a card I don't use very frequently. So I had to I put the card in. I was like, oh no, I've forgotten. And then I had to open 1Password, put in my master password, I was like, oh, I hate doing that. It's so embarrassing. You're standing there for like 2 minutes while you search for stuff. So I'm very excited about the Face ID mask thing.
Just hold your breath. Take your mask off real quick. That's bad advice.
No, you see, I don't like doing it, right? Like, it's not me. I don't like looking like that guy, you know? Like, I don't want to be that guy. It's like, oh, he pulls his mask down. It's like, oh, like a fool. They added some stuff with Beta 2, look down to unlock. It kind of reminds me of, like, what they have on the iPad or something like that, right? Where they point, like, hey, the face thing's over here. Because I think it needs your attention. Is that right, Federico? Like, it needs...
Yeah.
You have to be looking at the phone, so like you can't turn off the attention detection thing for that.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think it's like the attention detection thing. I don't know.
It's really good. I've been running the beta and it's such a good feature. It's so useful. The change in shortcuts is like made tech press people happy, where you can run some automations without notifications. Not all of them. The one that I use the most often, which is replace a home screen icon with a shortcut, that still shows the banner, which is frustrating. But I think people are excited about this, and it feels like another slow step towards maybe shortcuts can just like do stuff in the background all the time.
Yeah.
Not bother me.
They still have a bit of work to do there. Like, for example, automations, like in the... any kind of automation in shortcuts does not exist on Monterey at all. If you want to run shortcuts on the Mac on a schedule, you got to use like cron jobs or external utilities like Better Touch Tool with time triggers or something like that, because they don't have, like, the automation tab in the Mac app is just not there, which is kind of weird. But what you mentioned for the home screen icons, I was hoping that they would we talked about this last week, that they would add like a toggle in the shortcuts details page that lets you do what you can do with automations, which is notify when run. But it's, as of beta 2, it's still not there. I still want to kind of believe that they're going to add this to the shortcuts inspector. Or maybe as a toggle, it could even be like an option that you only see when you add a shortcut to the home screen, like in the icon picking, like sort of final confirmation screen. There could be maybe an option there. I don't know. I feel like it's odd to have that inconsistency right now, where an automation, like...
My only question to this was like, what if they do what you suggested in your Ricky pick of like homes? This was one of your Ricky picks, like
yes,
the customization stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't want to offer this because they've got like a thing that they're going to do with app icons.
Maybe because like using a shortcut to install a custom icon for an app is a kind of a silly workaround.
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to make a shortcut if you want to customize your home screen. And we're all in agreement there. It's a workaround that people have discovered. Apple actually made it better. If you recall, before iOS 14.2.3 maybe, basically after this became a thing, before that, these kinds of shortcuts, they would still open the Shortcuts app first, and then it would take you to the app that you wanted to launch from a custom icon. And then Apple realized, oh, millions of people are doing this. I guess we got to make it a little better for them. And so now those custom icons, those custom shortcuts, when you tap them from the home screen, they just go straight to the app that you're launching. But it didn't used to be like this. It used to be worse. So Apple made it a bit better. But now they could make it all the way better. And it seems like they don't want to. And the inconsistency is weird because, like, arguably, an automation that runs in the background and can do all kinds of things, I mean, it's technically more dangerous than a shortcut that you run as an icon from the home screen, you know? But still, there's an option there, and not when you want to add a shortcut with a custom icon to your home screen. I don't get it.
Marina in the Discord had a question. Does the iPad also get Face ID with a mask on?
I don't think it does.
Do you think they'll do that?
Maybe? I don't know.
I can see why they wouldn't, just because they like don't think they need to. You know what I mean? Like I could see that being like a blind spot, but I think it would be good to have it.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the iPad's ability to do Face ID from more angles. Like I wonder if that makes it more or less complicated. I just don't know. But it would be nice. Like if it can do it, it should. So maybe there's a reason that it can't.
Isn't it weird that the iPhone never got the ability to do it from multiple angles?
I think it is. I think it's super weird.
Why is that? If the iPad can do it, and it seems like the sensors are basically the same. I don't know.
I'm so used to the iPad Mini now with the Touch ID. I never even considered the Face ID iPads needing or not needing this feature.
Mm-hmm.
This episode of Connected is made possible by Fitbod. It's very normal for people to start considering their health and fitness this time of year, but we're all busy balancing work, family, and everything else. It can be hard to make fitness a priority. What you need is a program that works with you, not against you. That's why you need Fitbod. Fitbod's algorithm learns about you, your goals, and your training ability to craft a personalized exercise plan that's unique to you. Their app makes it incredibly easy to learn exactly how to perform each exercise, because personal fitness isn't about competing with other people. You don't want to look to others and try to stack up against them or do what they do. What you need is something that will work for you. That's when it sticks, and that's when you'll see the results you're looking for. Fitbod uses data to create and adjust your dynamic fitness plan. So you'll have instant access to personalized routines in their fantastic app, so you can make progress on your own goals from anywhere. One thing I really like about Fitbod is the included videos, so you can see how certain exercises are supposed to look, and you can see it from multiple angles now in a new update. And I find that really reassuring because I don't want to have an injury because I just don't know what I'm doing because I'm working out at home. And it's really made me feel more confident in trying new things in my home gym. Everyone's fitness path is different, which is why Fitbod does so much work to make sure they customize things exactly to suit you. They make sure to learn from your last workout so the next will be even better, whether you work out twice a day or twice a week. Fitbod even tracks your recovery to make sure that your plan is balanced with a variety of exercises to make sure you're not overworking anything. The app is simple to use and recently got updated with a fantastic new design, including those HD video tutorials that I mentioned a second ago. So you can learn each exercise easily and quickly. It also integrates with the Apple Watch, Wear OS smartwatches, and apps like Strava, Fitbit, and Apple Health. Personalized training is expensive, but Fitbod is just $12.99 a month or $79.99 a year. You can get 25% off your membership by signing up at fitbod.me/connected. That's fitbod.me/connected. That's where you want to go to kick off this new year right and get 25% off your membership at fitbod.me/connected. Our thanks to Fitbod for the support of the show and Relay FM. So the 6 Colors Apple report card was just released earlier this week, or maybe last week now. I don't know how time works. But one of the sections
this week, it was like 2 days ago.
We didn't talk about it, but I didn't have power for like a week.
You didn't have power, so what do you know?
Yeah, Memphis had this big ice storm. I didn't have power for almost a week. So like I seriously, if we weren't recording today, I wouldn't know what day it is because I'm so off. But it's fascinating. Go read it. All three of us are lucky enough to participate in it, which I always enjoy. But one of the sections that always gets pretty much a rough score is HomeKit, Apple's smart home platform. It's a weird ecosystem because Apple, like HomeKit's kind of invisible. They have the Home app, which is not very good. But then there's all these other parts of the service that aren't even exposed, and the Home app and other apps can build on top of it. But Apple doesn't make any hardware for it other than the HomePod and the Apple TV, which can act as basically HomeKit hubs, so you can use and access your stuff when you're away from your network. But they don't make cameras or lights or anything. They leave all that up to the third-party sort of world to make stuff. And the three of us have all experimented with HomeKit and smart home stuff over the years. So I kind of wanted to touch base with the two of you and see kind of where things are with your smart home stuff. What do you think about HomeKit in particular? Are you looking to move past it? Are you looking to engage more with it? Kind of the lay of the land. And Federico gave this section a very good name that we should recognize. So Federico, what are we doing today?
Because you mentioned, like, why don't we go sort of round robin style, talking about our setups and all the different rooms that we have in our homes. I thought we could call this a room robin. So you're welcome.
It's really good. It's very good.
Really good.
Are we going to actually do this round robin style?
I mean, we can.
I mean, why else?
Well, Stephen said that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, we have to now.
it's a room robin.
Okay.
You know, I'll go first because I came up with the title, which grants me rights
makes you king of this segment.
makes me the king of the room. So I will say that, first of all, Myke, I enjoyed your quote in the 6 Colors report card. For context, for those who have not read it, Myke said that Apple spent all of its energy building the home set for the keynote videos.
Like, I don't know if you ever have this, like, when I fill out the report card, it's like it's just going to JSON.
Yes. It's like, yeah.
And then when it's published, I'm like... But was I maybe a little...
Oh, no. What have I done?
I mean? It's like, did I say that the right way? I don't know.
This was meant to be for you and you only.
No, and that's I know it's not that. Like, I know that it's... But, like, it feels different. But anyway, he sent it to me beforehand, and I didn't ask him to remove it. But, like, it was one of those things where I was like... I was maybe a little unnecessarily snarky there, but nevertheless.
That was good. So I will say that my smart home setup has been simplified a lot over the years. That's partly because we're still renting a very small place. There's not enough freedom for us at the moment to install the things we would like to install or to change some of the things we would like to change, like a new thermostat, for example, or redoing all of the lights, redoing all of the light switches. We can't do that. And until we find a new place that is ours and that we fully control, that sort of stuff is not available for me. And I have also simplified because I realized that sometimes, you can easily overdo home automation stuff to the point where it gets in the way. And sometimes it's better to have something that is easy and,
Have you met my friend Homebridge?
Exactly. And so when I say this, I say this because I know what it's like to go really deep down the rabbit hole of, like, turning everything into a HomeKit appliance or making everything a switch in the Home app that you can also control with Siri. You can overdo this stuff just like you can overdo any kind of automation, right? You just got to figure out what works, what sticks for you, what is easy and reliable and consistent. In the context of home automation, what makes it tricky is it's not just for you. It's also for other people who live with you, which is something that is another topic to consider. Like, you may think that something that you just set up in HomeKit or Alexa or whatever is cool, but remember, it needs to be usable by other people in your household as well. Mm-hmm. Including kids, possibly. So, it's a whole topic, but essentially, I have a very small place, and Myke has seen my place, can confirm that it's small. The one true John has seen it. Stephen hasn't, because Stephen hates Italy. Stephen hates Europe.
The thing about your apartment it's small apartment, massive balcony. It's like half of the apartment is balcony.
Yeah. Yes, but there's a whole story there, but we cannot get into that here. Anyway, we have 3 Logi Circle 2 cameras. These are the 2nd generation Logi Circle that got updated to support HomeKit Secure Video, which we are using on all 3 of them. I have one in the entrance room of the apartment. I have one in the kitchen / living room, and another in the short hallway that connects the living room to the bedroom and the 2nd bathroom. These are the 3 cameras that we use most of the time, that we set up with HomeKit Secure Video. Outside on the huge balcony that Myke mentioned, I have an old D-Link Omna, I think it's called, camera. So yeah, I wanted to start from like the first room that I want to cover is the balcony and the entrance, because they're kind of related. There's 2 cameras, 2 U lights. So there's one white only, and outside there's a colored one, just because we spend more time in the spring and in the summer outside with friends, and it's nice to have some accent colors there. And in addition, outside we also have the Eve weather sensor. This is a thread compatible temperature sensor that can live outside. I also forgot to put this on the list, but on the balcony, we also have the Eve Energy. This is a smart plug that is also thread compatible. I basically purchased all of these HomeKit accessories last year when I wanted to make sure that I had thread compatibility everywhere as much as possible. It has improved reliability, but not as much as I hoped. Honestly, this thread radio stuff, it's not as foolproof as I hoped it would be. So yeah, basically when the first 2 rooms of the apartment, which are, I think of them as one thing because they were supposed to be one thing, but it's a whole story.
Right, if we're round robining, should it not move on now?
Yes, I am gonna let you move on, but I just wanted to recap: entrance and balcony, Logi Circle 2, 2 U lights, an old D-Link Omna that I really should change eventually, Eve Weather, and Eve Energy.
Nice. Eve Weather. That's the one I didn't
Eve Weather.
Eve Weather.
Eve.
Eve. Eve. Eve. Eve. Eve.
So in my entrance, I guess, or really like the front of my house, I've got a Ring camera looking out. I used Nest stuff for a long time, and I bought one of their sort of new generation cameras, and we talked about it on the show. It was so abysmal, I just ended up replacing my other couple of Nest cameras with Ring stuff. I know people have, and it's a good conversation to have about Ring and privacy and the stuff they do. You can turn all of it off now. You can have end-to-end encryption turned on. At least their new hardware, I have that turned on everywhere. It makes some of the alerts a little slower, but I'm fine with that. So I've got a Ring camera looking at the front, and then I have an overhead light on our front porch that is set to come on an hour before sunset and stay on an hour after sunrise. So it's on at night. And you may think, oh, well, how are you doing that? You have like an app? No, I have what's called an Intermatic STO1. There'll be a link in the show notes.
I love the STO1.
That's the good one.
That's the good one. That's the good one. So this goes where you put your regular light switch, and you can use it as a regular light switch. You can just push it and it clicks like a regular switch. But this has a timer in it, and you can tell it where you are, and it knows, due to, I guess, internal programming, because this thing's not on the network, like it's all built-in logic.
Yeah.
It knows when sunrise and sunset is. It knows when daylight savings time is, and so you can program it. This came with our house, by the way. This was here when we bought the house, and I haven't changed it.
Do you think this thing survived Y2K? Like, do you think it handled it?
I mean, it still works now.
I guess, right?
So
I wonder
yes.
if it will survive Y3K.
If my house is still here in 1,000 years, then have at it. And I mean, I don't know if I would have known to look for something like this. I probably would have tried to find something smart and clever, but it totally gets the job done. And it came with the house, so it has stayed because it is really reliable. There's a note on the website that's fantastic. It says not for use with sun lamps, saunas, or loads that could cause personal injury if timed incorrectly.
What is that? What happened?
Yeah, someone died in a sauna is what happened. And they
No,
got put on the website.
it's the last part. Loads that could cause personal injury if timed incorrectly.
Like a breathing machine or something? I don't know.
Someone was using one of these to weight something and it just hit the time wrong and it fell, right? Like that's what happened here, and I want to know.
I think they mean electrical loads, not like
no, it means
a load of
physical
rocks.
loads, man. Yeah, like it's just holding like a big roll of rocks, as you say, and then switch goes off, rocks fall down.
Anyways, you get them at your hardware store. Really simple. I just have the PDF manual and Apple Notes, and if I ever want to make adjustments, but I've been happy with it. So I have this thing, which is like smart home stuff before smart home stuff. But as far as the front of my house, that's about it.
I honestly, so okay, that's it for yours.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll believe me when I tell you that for our home security system, kind of, which is the only thing in our entranceway, I am using a canary.
No, still? I mean, come on, it's been 20 years.
I'm still using the same canary that I've been using.
Are they still around?
Do you know what? I couldn't believe this. They updated the app a couple of weeks ago and added new features to the canary. I was like, wait, what? I assumed I was the only customer at this
Did it
point.
add HomeKit support? No.
Are you sure there's not like a single
No, I
engineer
wish.
that is creepily watching you? No.
I don't know. I mean, couldn't that be the thing of all of this stuff? Who knows?
What
know
did
what
you
I mean?
name your canary? I remember it having a name.
Buster.
Buster. Because it busts the bad guys.
He busts the bad guys, you know?
That's
He's
right.
going to take care of it for you. So what did they add? They added... Oh, no, they actually do a lot of stuff. They've added audio alerts for professional monitoring.
Oh, that is professional.
Better real-time conversations with their two-way talk system. Yeah, I don't know. They keep doing things. It surprises me, to be honest. But I'll tell you, this thing, rock solid. Like, still works like the day I bought it. I've had this thing since January 2016. We do not have problems with it. And it doesn't, it doesn't go off all the time. Like it's not like it's not very sensitive, but I know it's still working. Like if we leave the blinds open or whatever, like sunlight can still affect it, just like any of these things. But that canary, that is still going, that thing, and I think it's awesome.
That's great.
But I've looked for a while, like could I find something that did everything in one unit? No, it's still the only one. What we like about it is it's always doing it, it's always available, like for video calling when we want it, turns on and off when, like the video camera, turn on and off when we want it to, has a speaker in it, has like a heat sensor, a smoke sensor, everything all in one unit. I think it's awesome and I love it, and it's not that expensive to run as the service. I've been very happy the whole time. They now say that they give you free cameras if you sign up for the service now, so I can't speak to the longevity of Canary. Like, I'm not necessarily advocating people jump in now, but we're still very happy with ours.
Should I go next?
Yeah, we're back to Robin again.
We're back to me. Okay.
Neither me or Stephen have expansive balconies to talk about, so.
Right. So the kitchen is a bit more interesting for me. I have another Logi Circle 2, which I mentioned before. More U-lights. We have 2 of them. Now we have the original HomePod is back, because as I mentioned a while back, the Echo is gone again. Alexa is gone once. We actually sold.
impossible to keep up with.
Look, it's very easy, and I'm telling you, I sold the Echoes again. The experiment did not last even a year, I think. They're gone. They've been purchased by a close friend of ours, and they now live in a better home, which is actually a dance school, but still.
That is a better home.
It is a better
much
home.
better home.
They're actually using the intercom feature at the school with the two Echoes. It's in a very clever way. It's nice. So now we are back to have the original HomePod, one of the HomePods that I physically bought in America, and at the last WWDC that I attended in person. So it's a nice gift from that era that it's never coming back.
You were your own Big Apple buddy.
Yes, I was my own Big Apple buddy before Big Apple buddy existed. So there's a HomePod that we mostly use for. So it's set in English. I could set it in Italian because it's now available as an option, but I didn't because of Silvia never uses the HomePod via voice. I occasionally do, and at this point, I would prefer to ask questions to the assistant in English. I would feel kind of weird asking them in Italian. I don't know why. Well, no, I guess I know why. All of my other devices are set to English. I use Siri in English. I wouldn't even know. I'm actually using, my Italian is getting worse. My friends are making fun of me. Silvia's making fun of me, but I'm also kind of concerned. It was getting worse before, but now it's gotten much worse.
Why?
I tried because I very rarely, especially writing in Italian, is it's very concerning. I write in English, I talk in English a lot of hours each day, and the pandemic happened, and we've been in isolation a lot.
And is Sylvia just more forgiving?
Sylvia's getting worse too, actually. In terms of using English words instead of Italian words.
Because you two of you speak in Italian to each other.
We do, but
right.
it's sort of become this hybrid language at this point. Yeah, it's very weird and funny and concerning at the same time. Anyway, we mostly use the HomePod as an AirPlay receiver in the music app, selecting as a destination. Then we have an Apple TV that we use when we want to watch Netflix or something, at dinner instead of regular television. This is an Apple TV 4K. I upgraded the remote last year, and it's very good. It's a very good remote that I also mentioned in the 6 colors report card. I love it. The latest addition to the kitchen that is not a HomeKit device at all, but is essential because it's a home server that I use for something else. It's an Intel NUC. We mentioned this one before. It sits above my TV right next to the modem from my ISP. I love it. I love that little thing. It acts as a music server for me. Runs the excellent Roon. That's ROON. It runs the excellent Roon software with my personal offline music library that I then stream and listen to with the setup that I will describe for the bedroom later. But yes, this one lives in the kitchen. It's plugged into my Orbi via Ethernet, and it's very tiny and compact, and it's been running for months without having to ever reboot it. It's super reliable. I love it.
It's amazing to me how much love the Apple TV remote got. I mean, in the episode of Upgrade, Jason was like, "Yeah, I burned down my whole TV setup because this remote was so good."
Mm-hmm. Great remote.
Pretty wild. In my kitchen, I have the only remaining big HomePod. I had 3, 2 have died. The one in the kitchen lives on, and it's great in the kitchen. Mostly, the multiple timer thing is a lot better. Still, the sound is still amazing, and I don't have any plans on replacing that until it fails. One new thing in the kitchen is the addition of some Hue light strips under our cabinets that shine down on the countertops. We have not had under cabinet lighting in our kitchen, and we looked at some options. At some point early on in the pandemic, I got some like regular just LED kind of bar lights you could touch and they would come on, but they ended up not really being bright enough and they were a little bit finicky to use. And so I was like, well, I know the Hue light strip stuff works really well because when we get to the office, I have a lot of Hue light stuff out here. Like, let me just get a light strip for that. So I have that running under a couple of cabinets, and I have a scene in HomeKit, so we can just say turn cabinet light on, and it comes to the brightness and the color temperature we like. But of course, it can be any color or any brightness. So sometimes it's fun to mix that up, and it's been like a nice, fun addition in the kitchen to have that Hue light strip. I think if I were going to, if we were like do a kitchen from the start, I would not use this is overkill probably for our use. And there's a lot of like real like nice options for like kitchen lighting, but as far as a retrofit, I was pretty happy with how it came out.
Do you stick them on? Like you stick them on with the way that they, like the adhesive that comes on the back of them?
Yes, and then and I did the same thing out here. I got a metal staple that's wide enough so it doesn't puncture the light strip.
Right.
And put that there as well to help hold it up, and it's been fine.
Okay.
Now it's not like over the stove or anything. There's not like a lot of steam or humidity where it is. That would be a factor, I think. But it's kind of off to the side in the kitchen, and it's been fine for probably going on a year.
Is that your kitchen?
That's my kitchen. That's it.
We've already done the entrance, so the door is open. You can come in to the kitchen in my home. I only have one smart home thing in my entire kitchen.
A robot. Wait.
No, it's the Echo Show. So we use one of the... So, like, we are a split household, like, for the way that we interact with our smart devices. It's not that, like, one of us chooses one over the other for all the time or whatever. Like, sometimes I will ask the Echo, and sometimes I will ask Siri. But, like, for us, there are some stuff that, like, the Echo does, and it just does better than the HomePod. Like, I've mentioned it before, but, we use a shopping service that has an Echo skill that allows us to add things directly to our shopping list. And it's such a killer feature for me, where it's like, I'm cooking, and I've used the last of a certain ingredient, and I can just add it to the actual cart of our grocery provider.
That's pretty cool.
Like, that is so much better than adding it anywhere else, because if I add it anywhere else, I still got to add it to the cart later on. So it's little things like that, measurements and stuff like that. I much prefer having a screen than just having it audio. Our Echo Show has been getting a bit long in the tooth, I think. We have the second generation, which we got in 2019. Sometimes it's a little slow to respond. Like, it feels like it's genuinely like getting old, like a person gets old. Like, sometimes it gets a little confused, or like you'll ask it to do something and it can't hear you. It's
so
really
sad.
weird.
This is the saddest thing I've ever heard about a robot.
Sometimes like the screen is black, like it's fallen asleep or something.
No.
It's really weird.
No.
Like, genuinely, it's really weird.
Oh my god.
We also use it for as a digital photo frame kind of thing. Like we have like images of some of our favorite vacations, and it's playing on a loop. So I think I'm gonna upgrade this. Like, I would love Apple to make a product like this. I don't know if they're going to. And even if they do, I don't think it's going to do everything that I want in the way that I want it to. So we're probably going to remain with the Echo Show. And plus, I'll say that there's like a thing that we'll do is like, we'll say like the name of the assistant, whether it's Siri or Alexa, and we'll just say like, turn on living room. And like with the Echo, that just turns on the lights. But with Siri, it turns on everything. The TV comes on, everything comes on, and like that's not what I want it to do. And I also just really like that command. And the way I get around it, because I do ask Siri this a lot, is I'll just say living room lights, and it works.
You just have to be a little bit more specific with it. The other way to do is to set scenes and then call the scene name. But
the problem is Siri doesn't like it because the name and the scene are the same, and I found that to be inconsistent. I found it to be less inconsistent with the Echo. Like with the Echo, it kind of does it the way that I expect it to.
Yeah, I was going to say HomeKit sort of makes bad assumptions sometimes with some of the voice commands. So if you're all HomeKit, like I have like the little baby Amazon Echo Show out here. I don't really use it very much. It's kind of over on the shelf, basically being a fancy clock. But with HomeKit, you kind of have to like work around some of that stuff. And that's a little frustrating because when you're setting it up, to Federico's point earlier, which is like a really good point about all this stuff, you have to do this in a way, like if you live with other people, that they have to be able to use it. And if it's like, oh, well, you have to say this certain text string in just the right way, or everything will come on, or everything will go off, and you just meant the light. It's like, that makes it frustrating for other people to use who aren't the nerds, or who...
Yeah, and this is, I know Adina would not accept the fact that she now has to be specific. Like, she's just internalized the light. And I honestly, most of the time, will ask the Echo to turn the lights on and off because it's simpler. But in general, I prefer HomeKit for the smart home automation stuff. Everything I buy, I try and make sure that it's HomeKit enabled, just because I find it to be fast, and I like having it all on my iPhone, just like all in Control Center or whatever. It's like typically what I'll use. But you will hear as I go through, I don't have a lot of home stuff at home. I have more at the studio. But even then, I think compared to the two of you, I actually think I'm the most basic of the three of us. But yeah, that's it for my kitchen, just the Echo Show.
Okay. I would be super into a HomePod with a screen. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah. And I would put it in the kitchen. That's where it would go for me, for sure.
That would be my hope, right? That I could replace what I have, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right. My hallway is very simple. I only have 2 devices, 3 if you count the Dyson Hot and Cool fan that we have, but it's not HomeKit compatible. It used to be HomeKit compatible via Homebridge 2 years ago, but I found that eventually too unreliable to keep it around for my taste, and so now we control the Dyson fan using the remote, because it comes with a physical remote, or via the Dyson app on our iPhones. We do have, though, HomePod Mini. So this is one of the 2 HomePod Minis that we have. This used to be, by the way, these 2 HomePod Minis, they used to be a stereo pair in the bedroom for the LG TV that we have, using the ARC sound out thing. But that also turned out to be too unreliable for our taste. And so we split up the stereo pair, and we just went back to using a HomePod Mini in the hallway and another in the bedroom I'll talk about later. So in the hallway, we have this IKEA cabinet with a HomePod Mini on top of it, and a Logi Circle 2 camera. No smart lights here, just this HomePod Mini that we use to put on some background music when we want. Otherwise, it also serves as another Thread radio in the house. So hallway is very simple. Dyson fan that is not compatible with HomeKit unless you want to use Homebridge, Logi Circle 2 camera, and a white HomePod Mini.
I don't have a hallway. I do have a hallway.
I don't have a hallway, really. But I kind of, the entrance for me. The entrance and the hallway are one and the same thing. It's all I have.
I guess I'll just do like what I labeled in my section, interior rooms. So just kind of like stuff that's randomly in the house. So we have a white HomePod Mini in Mary and I's bedroom. It replaced a full-blown HomePod when it died. I would do yellow probably for our room, or maybe blue, but I bought it before the colors came out. I have iHome smart plugs. I have several of them. Some of them are seasonal, like I use some for Christmas lights, but I have one that's permanently like in the den, one in the living room, and one in the bedroom. And they just put regular, in 2 cases, floor lamps, and one's like a bedside lamp into HomeKit. And the iHome switches just plug into the outlet, the lamp plugs into the front of it, and it just toggles on and off with a command. It also works with the Amazon Echo family of products. There's a lot of HomeKit only or Amazon Echo only plugs now. I bought these a long time ago, and there is an iHome app that you can use, although they also talk directly to HomeKit. I keep the iHome app around because in case you need to like update one, or if anything's acting weird, you can like do a reset with the iHome app. If I were to replace these now, I would look for something that was just HomeKit native 100%, that you didn't need its own app to kind of be the intermediate step. But they get the job done. My only complaint, and I ran into this the other day after my power came back out of the storm, is that these things don't rejoin the network like the right way, or it may be that my network takes longer to come up than these things. But if the power's out and the power comes back on, I have to like go around and unplug all these things and plug them back in for it to see the Wi-Fi. So maybe it's like a order of operations thing, and that's really annoying. Like maybe they just give up trying to connect to the network after a few seconds. I don't know, but it's something that I've noticed that if anything like weird happens with the network or the power, these things often need a reset. So I just have to like go around and unplug them and plug them back in like some sort of caveman. And then lastly, we spoke about this on previous episodes. We bought our first OLED TV last year. We got the 48-inch LG, the exact same TV Myke, you and Adina have.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Man, I just had no idea how good TVs were because my last one I bought in like 2010. But it's really great. We have the Apple TV, the new one, or maybe not the new one, but the one before it, the first 4K one with the new remote, and a Sonos Beam as the sound bar. And I don't really use the Sonos Beam on its own, although it is available for AirPlay and HomeKit stuff, but I just basically just use it as a sound bar. But what is nice is the LG TV is in HomeKit, and you can AirPlay directly to it without the Apple TV. So I can tell Siri just to turn off the TV or turn on the TV, and that works like perfectly. I've been really impressed with that. I really love this LG OLED. Everyone says they're really good, and everyone is correct. It's been a really nice addition to our house over the last, I guess, maybe year or so.
I guess you can use the Sonos Beam like a Sonos too, right? Like not just AirPlay, like it's a Sonos.
And I think I would if our TV's like not in our main like living space. Like my house has like a big living room, dining room as you come in, and then there's kind of like a TV room or like a separate den, and that's where the television is. And so that room's not huge. If our TV was in the big open space, I would probably use the Sonos Beam as a speaker, but we have the HomePod not far away, and so like it just didn't really pan out that I'm using it for all the features. So I could have gone cheaper with my soundbar. I kind of regret the Beam purchase, honestly, but it is what it is at this point.
All right, so I'll do my living room now.
Okay.
So we have a stereo pair of the original HomePod there. Still going great. We use that attached to our Apple TV. Like it's basically just our TV speakers. It's kind of the only thing we use it for. Put music on it occasionally, but we're not really big like just have music on in the house people. Hue lights, we have like Hue lamps there. We have the same LG OLED, Stephen. I think the only thing that is unique for us that you don't have is we have a power strip by a company called Meros.
Mm-hmm.
These are available on Amazon. They're really cool. They're power strips where you can turn the whole thing on and off, or it's got like 4 plugs and a bunch of USBs, and you can set it to turn each one of them on and off whenever you want and on a schedule, and it's all in HomeKit. I really like that, actually. Very easy to automate it and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a really cool product. That's our living room. I don't have a ton of stuff at home, I don't think.
I know when you first set it up, you had issues with the HomePod stereo pairing and the Apple TV. Has that gotten better over time with subsequent updates?
It's 100% fixed.
Really?
Now. Absolutely 100% fixed. Yeah, I don't have any problems at all.
And can you use the minis as a stereo pair now?
Stereo pair? Yes.
Okay. Obviously not going to sound as good. I bet your HomePod stereo pair sounds awesome.
It sounds so good.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm actually really pleased that we did it. It really sounds excellent. I'm sure the minis sound good too, but this sounds real good. So I'm very happy that we ended up like kind of leaning into that and doing it.
All right, let's take a break here, and then we will finish our round room robin that we're doing today. This episode of Connected is made possible by New Relic. If you're a software engineer, you know the feeling. It's 9 p.m., you're unwinding from work, and then your phone buzzes. It's an alert. Something's broken, and your mind is instantly racing at what could be wrong. Is it the back end or the front end? Is it the cloud provider, something on the network? There's a lot of things to check, and to test when you have an outage or some other issue going on. Your whole team is scrambling from tool to tool and messaging person after person to find and fix the issue. Look, this won't happen with New Relic because New Relic combines 16 different monitoring products that you would normally buy separately. But with New Relic, they all come together so engineering teams can see across the entire software stack in one place. More importantly, you can pinpoint issues down to a line of code, so you know exactly why the problem happened and you can resolve it quickly. That's why the dev and ops teams at places like DoorDash, GitHub, Epic Games, and more than 14,000 other companies use New Relic to debug and improve their software. Whether you're running a cloud-native startup or a Fortune 500 company, it takes just 5 minutes to set up New Relic in your environment. That next 9 p.m. call is just waiting to happen. Get New Relic before it does. You can access the whole New Relic platform and 100 gigabytes of data free forever, no credit card required. Just go to newrelic.com/connected. That's NEWRELIC, newrelic.com/connected. Our thanks to New Relic for their support of the show and Relay FM.
All right. The last room of my house is the bedroom, and
It's where the magic happens.
is where this is actually where the fun happens, but like for real. And I'm especially happy with my desk setup right now. I don't have a dedicated office space. My office has a desk in the corner of our bedroom.
That's for the special business. It's in there.
This is where I'm talking to you from right now.
I like it. No, I like it.
Standard stuff first. We have an LG B7 from 2017, 55-inch OLED TV. We love it. I would eventually like an upgrade for 120 hertz refresh, HDMI 2.1, that kind of stuff. But this still works absolutely fine for my PS5, for my Apple TV, and the picture quality is great. We love it. We use it a ton. We watch a ton of movies and TV shows in the bedroom before sleep or after dinner. It's very comfy and big and beautiful. We love it. LG makes good televisions. There's an Apple TV. Like I mentioned, we also upgraded the Siri remote here, and the second HomePod Mini is also in the bedroom on a shelf next to a Eve room sensor. This is another indoor temperature and humidity sensor. We have a bit of a humidity problem in the winter season over here, so it's important to keep an eye on it. We have a dehumidifier, but it's not smart at all. It's a pretty traditional one with the basic display, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth or anything, and when necessary it's got wheels on it so we can carry it from the bathroom into the bedroom to dehumidify a little bit. The fun stuff is at my desk. Now, I've been working on this setup for the past 3 years, and you guys know me, a hobby of mine, besides video games and consoles in general, it's music equipment.
Scrobbling.
It's a scrobbling, man. Look, it all comes down to the scrobble, right? At the end of the day, we do all this for no other reason than the scrobbling. So
just for the scrobble.
It's all for the. I do it for the scrobbling. I'll be honest. I'll do it all because of that. We don't have kids, but we do have the scrobbles. So it's all in the name of the scrobbling. All right. So last year, I upgraded my desktop DAC to a bigger, more powerful, better sounding model. It's still a Matrix Audio DAC, but I upgraded from a Matrix Audio Mini I Pro 3 to the bigger, nicer Matrix Audio Saber 3.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the one.
Well, yeah, I know you were going to make fun of this.
They said the previous one, specific loads could kill people. Pleased that you've moved to this one.
Yes. So you guys can make fun of it as much as you want. I absolutely love my DAC. And I mention it in the context of home automation because it's also an AirPlay receiver. It supports AirPlay 2 and it shows up in HomeKit as an AirPlay device, which is a nice touch. But the DAC is important for a couple of reasons. It's a Roon certified this playback destination device, meaning that in the Roon software, I can select my X Saber 3 as a playback destination device. However, the DAC alone wouldn't do much, because on top of it, there's my also new. I got it last year. It's been with us for a few months now. It's Milo. Milo is here. Specifically,
Hi,
Milo. Hey, Milo, I'm going to post a picture in the Discord of my setup. Milo is my new best friend. Milo is my headphone amp.
24,240 scrobbles. That's a lot of scrobbles, man.
Look, that's not Milo. Milo is the black thing on top of the DAC with the fins poking out of it. That's the heatsink. That's the giant heatsink that it's got.
Gotta keep that Ogg Vorbis cool, you know.
Yeah, it's the flak. It's the flak, man. Come on, Ogg Vorbis. I'm not an animal. Come on.
There's a real interesting scale issue with this image, like where Milo originally looks small, and then when you start looking at the other things around it, it's like, oh, Milo's a big boy.
Milo is a chunky boy.
He's a big old boy.
It's a big old boy that's got a ton of power inside of it. You had to get a special power condition cable for it and everything. Anyway, it's one of the few amps that can power my headphones. It's a whole thing. I'm super happy with it. It sounds incredible. I got it from this family-run business based out of San Jose in California. This is actually like a family-run company, very old school. I love it. You talk directly to the guy to get this handmade for you. It's an incredible experience, super fun and kind people. If I ever make it back to San Jose, I want to go visit their store, because they have like a sort of like showroom museum of sorts. Should be very good people, very cool experience of purchasing this and waiting for this to come to Italy. And most of all, it sounds incredible. So what's nice about this is usually I just use Roon to stream my FLAC library to the DAC that sends its signal to the amp, and I listen with my headphones. Mm-hmm. But I can also choose if I want to listen at lower quality, but if I just want to try something from Apple Music or from any other AirPlay source, I can. And I usually do that if I want to try something out on Apple Music before actually buying the album and purchasing the album for my offline personal music collection. The DAC shows up in Control Center, it shows up in HomeKit, and I can control playback there. It's very nice. It's a nice way to try something out on Apple Music before committing to a full-on purchase. Lastly...
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the website for the Milo, the Wells Audio.
Yeah.
I just want to share the names of some of their other products. So you have Milo, you have Commander.
Yeah.
That thing is huge. You have Majestic.
Yeah.
Enigma 2.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get an Enigma 1. The load on the Enigma 1 can sometimes kill people.
Yeah. Head Trip 2.
Whoa.
Head Trip 2 Level 2. That's the real one. That one's $15,000, by the way. So don't buy that.
Look at the last one in the list.
Dragon.
Yeah. That one is the real deal.
It doesn't have
Does he have a price?
It doesn't have a price.
There's no price on it.
Nope.
Wow.
Oh wait, hang on. No, there kind of is. Level 3 Dragon Tube headphone amplifier, $5,500.
Wow.
I can't tell.
This company makes serious things, don't they?
Yes. They make...
I think maybe even more than serious, this all looks handmade. And not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But this looks like someone's putting this together.
This is what their website says. All Wells Audio products are custom built in the USA from the best parts money can buy, allowing us to accommodate special feature requests by customers. And then there's a biting lip emoji. That's weird.
In my case, I wanted to have a specific knob for the volume, and so I got this. I believe it's called the Gold Point attenuator. That's Maybe you can pick up the nice sound that it makes. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, okay. That's a big old dial.
Yeah. It's a very nice feel and a very, very nice way to control volume. Anyway, the last item on my desk, I actually need to thank one of my idols from my teenage years. Back when I used to be in high school, I used to read this music website called Absolute Punk. Now, Absolute Punk, you've probably been on the forums. That was back in the MySpace era. People my age, people Mike's age will know what I'm talking about. When when Fall Out Boy were a new band, you've been on Absolute Punk. I'm sure.
Yeah, just people of my age and your age.
That generation, you know what I mean? No, but that generation. Maybe Steven's age too, but like people.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with this.
Okay. Well, I don't think you are, but I'll believe you for the sake of the show. Absolute Punk is now known as Chorus FM. It's my favorite music website, and Jason Tate still writes Chorus FM. Now, Jason, a few months ago, did this very cool side project that we also linked on Mac Stories, I believe. Jason turned a Raspberry Pi into a portable standalone display. This is what Mike was making fun of a few minutes ago, for your Last.fm scrolls. So this is a tiny square-shaped display that in real time updates and shows you a bunch of stats from your Last.fm account. And I thought that was because it updates in real time as you start listening to something in apps like Marvis, for example, on iPhone and iPad, which is an Apple Music client, or on the Mac, you can listen in the music app, but then have something like Neptunes, for example, that instantly scrobbles what you're listening to. In real time, this shows up on the Raspberry Pi display. It's basically a physical now playing screen. And I loved the idea so much that I ordered the parts, and actually a bunch of them had to be shipped to me from the Voorhees family. Some parts started in Chicago, went to Ireland, and then from Dublin they came to Rome. So thank you to the Voorhees family, as always, for the assistance here. I built it all. It took me a few tries because you're getting essentially this Raspberry Pi Zero, it's called. You're getting just the board of a Raspberry Pi, and then you connect the display, and then you need to follow a bunch of instructions. But it was also a weekend project for me, and now it's done. It's set up, and when music is playing, it shows up on the Raspberry Pi. When music is not playing, I get stats, which I also posted with the photo on Discord. So that's my desk. It's very fun.
It's a lot of scrabbles.
Yeah.
Every day is scrobbling. I think I made that joke last time.
I think you did. You always do. It never gets old, and I understand why you do.
Thanks. I think.
I mean, I'm an easy target with the scrobbling, so I get it. I get it.
All right, my office. If you saw my video tour I did on my YouTube channel, you've seen a lot of this, but lots of hue lights in here. I've got one in my desk lamp. I've got two sets of shelves. They have the hue strip lights on them, so I can control them. I have each like shelving unit as a group, and so I can say like turn on wood shelves, and they're all three levels come on all at once. Pretty handy. I have an iHome temperature and humidity sensor, so it just plugs into the wall, and it basically just reports temperature and humidity into HomeKit, so I can see. Like Federico said, I have a humidity issue out here sometimes, and I run a dehumidifier, and that can kind of keep me in the loop about what's going on out here as far as that's concerned. It got really cold in here when the power was out, I would imagine, but it didn't have power, so how cold? Nobody knows. A pair of HomePods Mini in orange, and they sound pretty good as a pair. I realized after I talked to you about that a second ago, Mike, that I do have a pair of them. And they sound pretty good. Oh. So I have a set of those. And then the sort of the wildest thing on my whole HomeKit network or I guess my smart home network, because these aren't like, these are in HomeKit via hardware bridge, which a lot of these, I mean, Hue does the same thing. A lot of these companies have like a bridge that you plug into power and Ethernet, and it talks to their accessories and it talks to HomeKit. But I have 2 smart shades over the 2 big windows in my new studio from a company called Serena, which are actually owned by Lutron. They make the smart light switches and stuff. And they're like custom made to fit these windows. You pick the color and everything. By far, one of the biggest expenses of putting this office together. But it's fantastic to have them in HomeKit so I can open or close them via Siri or buttons on my Stream Deck or the Home app. But I also have an automation set up that 15 minutes before sunset, close the shades. And so they just, every day, 15 minutes before sunset, if they're not already closed, then they'll close themselves. And they're great. I cannot recommend them due to the expense. This is Quinn Nelson's fault. I was talking to him about outfitting HomeKit stuff. He's like, you need these. He's a very bad influence, but here they are. And it's pretty cool to have shades on your smart home network, I got to say.
Why do Lutron have so many brand names?
It's weird, right?
Right? Like Caseta by Lutron, Serena by Lutron. Why not just call them like...
They're almost worse than the Walls Audio family of products.
Maybe. But like, the thing with the Walls Audio thing is they are all just single products, right? That they make. Where like Lutron have like all these sub-brands that make multiple products.
Is it also the Caseta by Lutron?
Yeah, Caseta by Lutron. And I see one here. It's like outdoor smart plug from Caseta by Lutron. Why not just call it the Lutron outdoor smart plug? Like, why does it? If you're gonna also always put Lutron in there, there's no point sub-branding it.
It reminds me of that meme image with the label on the T-shirt, Marc Jacobs by Marc Jacobs by Marc Jacobs.
Mark by Marc Jacobs by Marc Jacobs for Marc Jacobs. But they look nice, those shades.
They're there.
Is that the end of the pod cabin?
I think it is. I was trying to think about other smart home stuff. I guess I can talk about my network a little bit if we wanted to go that deep.
Well, I've still got 2 more rooms to go.
Okay, why don't you take us to your bedroom and then we'll loop back around.
Because we've done a really bad job of like, for some reason, Stephen had interior rooms, not bedroom. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lumpy robin today. So take us to your bedroom, and then Federico, and then we can just each like talk about our networks real quick and be done.
But I haven't done the studio yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, this is gonna go on forever.
Well, I mean, I can't be held responsible for this. Federico, you started the round robin by doing 2 rooms. So
I wanted to speed it up. It's
mega. No bedroom. Echo Dot, Hue lamp, Dyson hot and cool fan. That's it. Oh, I forgot to talk about a Roomba earlier. We have a Roomba.
Yeah, I do too. It's rolling around somewhere.
So that's the bedroom. Now we can move back around to Federico again.
I'm done. Like I got nothing else to.
Federico's done.
So now we move back around again to Stephen.
Small apartment.
I was just going to mention my network. I've got 3 wired Eero Pro base stations, which is fantastic. If you use something like Eero or Linksys or any other sort of mesh network, and you can do it. I know a lot of people like Federico can't be doing a bunch of holes and running wires everywhere. But if you can, I really recommend having your base stations all wired with Ethernet. So they use Ethernet as the backhaul. I found it to be much more reliable and faster having done that. And so a couple of Eero Pro base stations in the house and one out here in the studio. There is Ethernet linking the studio back to the house. It's been in place now since I built this the first time around. And especially when you're doing things like cameras that may be on the outside of the house, or just the more smart home stuff you add, it's network congestion. And so if you're finding issues with connectivity with some of this stuff, definitely check out Mesh Networking. I like Eero stuff. They've been a sponsor, but a lot of other good brands out there too. It can be worth the sort of investment. And it's a pain, right? It's a pain to redo your network. But if you're adding more and more smart home stuff, like the network is really the glue that holds it all together. And that's really why I wanted to mention it.
I don't think this is going to take me very long to do the studio because I have a lot of the same product. The only thing, we have a Ring security system. We have the previous version to the one that is now, but the only difference is just the way it looks. I like it. It's got like one box. It's got everything I needed, like the alarm system, security, like the sensors and all that kind of stuff.
I got one too.
A couple of cameras
in the pod cabin.
We have some Hue lamp.
Sharks. There's sharks circling.
They do that too. It's funny how Ring provide that, but Ring Sharks is a real good service. I have some Hue lamps and I have a Hue switch for those lamps as well, like just so I have that by the door in case I just want to turn it off when I'm leaving. I have a Echo pair that I never use. It was a bad purchase. It's just the Echoes don't really do very well in this space. I don't know why. I think maybe they shouldn't have two so close to each other. I don't know what it is. Like, it doesn't work very well. I have a HomePod Mini. It's what I use to do any voice commands here because I've just got everything hooked up by home in the Home app. Obviously, except Ring. I hope that Matter, which is the thing that we've not spoken about today because who the frick knows when it will come or what it's actually going to be. I hope that Matter will be able to help with that, like make that better for me in the future, like connect these things together maybe. I have here a couple of radiators, like regular radiators, and I have a thing that Eve make called the Eve Thermo radiator kit. So basically, you replace the radiator valve with these smart valves, and it can turn them on and off, and you can adjust the temperature and stuff. I really like that because this studio can get pretty cold because it's just a big brick room. And so I like that I can turn that on or I can automate that as well if I want to. So that was a real game changer for me, honestly. I have another one of the Dyson fans here. It's the hot and cool air purifying fan. We got one for home, and I loved it so much I got one for here. That was before I got the radiator valves because I didn't know that was a thing. So I was trying to use that to heat the room, and that didn't really do a good job. But I like having that. And then an Apple TV. I just have a regular. I have like a Panasonic TV. It's like our old TV from home. It's still not smart at all. And I have an Apple TV that I use for that. I don't have any fancy speakers or anything here. I might do a HomePod Mini pair here, actually. Get like a second HomePod Mini and set them up there. I might do that. I haven't thought about that yet. Might do that. That's Mega Studio.
Cool.
And the round robin is complete. The robin is finally turned around.
Nice job. Thank you.
I think that's it. We have toured our houses. We've been down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped in the bedroom.
Yeah. Mike's door is open, so.
Always open.
Always
If
open.
you want to come over, my door is open.
Okay.
You can find links to all the stuff we spoke about over on the website, relay.fm/connected/384. There you can get in touch with feedback or follow-up. There's an email link there on the side of the page. You can also join Connected Pro, and you'll get a longer ad-free version of the show each and every week. This week we talked about portable gaming, like handheld PCs and emulation through Dolphin. It was a lot of fun. Basically, weird small computers are awesome. That we all agree on that.
Yes.
You can find us all online. You can find Federico on Twitter as Viticci, Viticci, and he's the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net. Federico, what's going on at MacStories?
Nothing. We're just waiting for the Nintendo Direct. But nothing else is going on.
Yeah, it's a couple of hours. I'm really excited about it.
Metroid Prime on Switch, baby. It's
not
happening.
Not gonna happen, baby.
Oh, no.
This episode that would have happened. You will have been disappointed before this episode is released. So
you can also follow Myke on Twitter, IMYKE. Myke hosts a bunch of shows here on Relay FM. Myke, what are you up to this week?
I don't know, man. My brain's falling out my ears. I've been recording like 6 hours straight today. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Go listen to Pen Addict 500. Go do it. I'm going to listen.
You could at least listen to the start.
I'm going to try to listen. Yeah, I want to listen to y'all cry together. And that'll be it.
We are known to do that.
I've been in person when it's happened. While recording and while not recording. Both. Very intense around the two of you.
Couple of cry guys.
Pull it together. You can follow me on Twitter as ISMH.
Wow, did you hear that, everyone? That was some toxic masculinity from Stephen there.
Wow, okay.
You know, they won't accept that boys can cry, you know?
I'm just saying it's intense. I didn't say it was bad.
Mm-hmm. You said pull it together, you know? I just feel like you're not letting me and Brad express our feelings.
I do think it's time to cancel you, Stephen.
We've all decided. We all got together.
So I'm sorry, but yeah, you've been cancelled. So.
Oh, why don't you end the show then?
Go on, Federico, you got to edit. You got to end it now.
You used to be able to find Stephen on Twitter at ISMH or on his website 512pixels.net. Thanks to our sponsors this week. They were 3 sponsors, if I'm not mistaken: Bombas, Fitbod, and New Relic. So thank you to our 3 sponsors. All three of them, thank you very much for your support. And thank you to our listeners, whether you listen to the regular show or Connected Pro. Myke, where can people find Connected Pro?
GetConnectedPro.co.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you to all the members of our Discord as well. You're really missing out if you don't join Discord. And until next time, say goodbye, Myke.
Cheerio.
Arrivederci.